the NBA Finals, again, we said earlier today, it starts tomorrow. We'll see. I think everybody kind of has a Thunder in 5 vibe going on. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, but what's funny is my friends in the desert have been counting out the Pacers in every series that they've played so far. So it kind of feels like,
why start now? Why stop now?
Well, that might be the wrong idea, right? I mean, this is the most lopsided as far as the favorites going into it NBA Finals we've seen. So clearly people think this Thunder team, 68 wins. They've absolutely rolled through, with the exception of the Denver series. They rolled through the postseason. People want to put this into the pantheon of great NBA teams of all time. I'm not there, but people want to, and I think that's helping out the spread, at least what my buddies in Vegas thinks about it.
There is a part of me that I want the Pacers to win, because
just for that reason alone.
The NBA crowned the Cavs about 4 times this year, and every time I had to be the guy that goes, they haven't won diddly squat yet. Don't crown them. Let them do it, because one, it's a two-parter. One, you completely minimize how hard it is to win in the NBA if you crown somebody before they crown themselves, and two, when you minimize that, you lose all respect for the whole process. And oh, by the way, more teams get crowned and then failed than teams that get crowned and then crown themselves. So there's a part of me, that the troll part of me, the person that wants chaos, wants the Pacers to win this series big.
Or more about the idea that if this was happening to the Cavs, you'd be livid about it. I just know you well enough to know that if this same thing was happening, where you entered, again, the series against Cleveland, against us, we were heavy favorites. Even into Game 5, we were favored in that game. Like, it's still, in every way, in every individual game, not only the series to start off, but then every individual game, we were the favorite. And then you fast forward to the series after that, and the same thing happened in that Knicks series. And, like, if I'm a Pacers fan, I'm just livid. It's Rodney Dangerfield. I can't get no respect around here.
But the NBA Finals is a great place to put on your thinking cap if you're not in the NBA Finals. And I think so much of the heart of every question we've asked, all the big guests, we had John Fanta on yesterday, we asked him. We've had Fedor on. We've had every big name, Joe Varden, all the big names you can imagine. We've had on, and we've asked this question, or asked some question that pulls to this answer. Is change necessary for the Cavs? But what we really mean is change necessary for the Cavs to make the finals?
Yeah, and I just don't know, the way the NBA is set up right now, that this is the time that you need to feel like you got to shake it up. Now, I want them to. I've been very about the idea that if a trade happens, go ahead and do it. But I'm also in the other side, maybe the devil on my shoulder is like, well, wait a second. The East is pretty wide open. It doesn't feel like the way that this core 4 is set up, and even if the puzzles don't fit perfectly, do you need a perfectly fit puzzle to make it to the NBA Finals?
To make it to the Finals, no. To win the NBA Finals, yes.
And so maybe that's where there's a little bit of a push from Kobe Altman. Like, he's got to figure out what he has to do. Because if we're dividing it up, like, if you can make it to the NBA Finals without changing up anything, because you don't need to be perfect, but maybe to get past the Thunder or whoever comes out of the West, you'll need to. Like, are you happy if you're the Cavs and you are looked at the same way the Pacers are going into this NBA Finals? If you're an Indiana
fan,
you're
just lucky to be there?
Not lucky to be there. An overwhelming underdog.
Mm-hmm.
Well, are you happy with that?
Well, to me, it's more...
If we fast forward next year and that's the result, you are an overwhelming underdog, but you did make it to the finals. Would Kobe Altman have been proved right or wrong if he stands pat?
Does anybody want to be the Yankees from the World Series last year?
You got destroyed. There's no debating that, but you still are in the World Series. Like, I think there are some people that would
take just being there.
I'm going to use the word settle intentionally. Yes, there are people that would settle for that thinking.
I think to make the finals, I think you can go along as this and just hope you get lucky. And you change around the pieces and the benches, and we'll see, right? Well, let's see if you can alter 6 through 8, and then we'll go from there.
See, because that feels almost like you're like the Raptors up against that KD team, where it was like, yes, we're just waiting for a KD injury, and then a KD injury happened, and now you're a world champion.
Yeah, but I think you're waiting for that just to get to the NBA Finals. Like, you're going to need a Jaylen Brown tears his ACL just to get to the NBA Finals as currently constructed. But if we talk about to win, guys, they don't fit together. And I don't know why. It's just I actually do know why. We love the team. We love the guys. We watched Darius for 6 or 7 years now. He is a guy who plays hard. He plays with a heart, and he's got an incredible skill.
We've invested a lot of time into this
Evan
team.
Mobley, Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell now. I mean, Donovan's a short timer compared to the core of this team. That being said, the number one thing that matters once you get past, like it used to be, do you have more talent than everyone else? That's the way the NBA operated for 20 years, 30 years, 40 damn years. And talent coagulated in these pools, and then then came fit. The problem is the balance across the NBA. When I say the NBA, I'm talking about the top 12 teams of the NBA.
Right.
The balance is about as even as you can get, even with OKC looking like a potential super team. The balance is as even as it's get, which all of a sudden that takes down the overall idea of talent, meaning just get a bunch of superstars and throw them out on the court together. And all of a sudden what rises is the importance of fit. And Donovan and Darius don't fit together. That's proven. Evan and Jarrett don't fit together. And then there's the bigger picture fit, which I've talked about, which is, do Darius, Donovan, and Evan fit together? Meaning two ball-dominant guards and a big who needs more touches.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's as clear as day. If you want to be more than a team that gets spanked in the second round of the playoffs, because they haven't been competitive, and I think that's important. If this was a 7-game series against Indiana, or if last year there were 2 straight, it's game 7. Teams lose game 7s. It's a coin flip, right? I can lose that way. I can't lose in a 5-game set again like this. And that calls for change. That calls for hard change. And that can be tough. And by the way, you can screw it up probably easier than you can get it right. But this is what good organizations done. Boston has done the same thing. Now, they don't have a core 4. Their core 2 has stayed intact. We might get to a point this offseason where their core 2 isn't intact anymore. Like, if you want, they've consistently
change across the NBA seems like it's almost it's just a foregone conclusion at this point. It seems like all these teams are changing as often as they can.
But they've consistently rearranged the deck chairs around their best players. And with Love, Darius and Donovan are superfluous. There's just too much overlap there. And I hate it because I want to keep watching both of them. I love watching them. But if that's the choice you have to make. You want to keep watching Darius and Donovan together and Evan and Jarrett together, or do you want to win a championship? That's the choice. And if the Cavs are like, you know what, we sell a lot of tickets, we are really enjoying winning 64 games in the regular season, then God bless you.
And if the NBA is starting to feel a little bit more like Major League Baseball, where it's like you punch your ticket in and you have a chance, then they're just going to look like it as we need some breaks and a good roll of the proverbial dice in order to make this thing work.
216-474-0092. Is change necessary for the Cavs to make the finals? Maybe not. But change is necessary for the Cavs to win the finals. And there's never been a better time to change than right now. Don't believe me? Watch the NBA Finals. That's where I've started to doubt about it's not about Donovan. It's not about Darius. It's about Donovan and Darius together, and whether there's just going to be a natural math problem that gets in the way of taking Evan Mobley where he needs to go. And that might be the number one reason why I'm willing to trade Darius Garland or Donovan Mitchell. So one of the, but more likely Darius, to solve that math equation and make it easier to build this thing around Evan.
Well, on the usage, like like they were talking about right there, I mean, think about it. Like I killed Donovan for Game 5 and what happened in that game because it was the Donovan Mitchell show. The whole thing he told Jared Greenberg he didn't want to do, which was go back to how he did postseason series in Utah, where he just turned it basically about himself, is exactly what he did in Game 5 of that series against Indiana, and he did it multiple times in the Indiana series in general. And it's one of the big gripes I had about that series. But it's like, how do you rein that in while also recognizing that Donovan Mitchell taking shots most of the time, if it's not 50% of the time like it was there, is usually a good play?
So I thought the big problem in Game 5 was it wasn't just Donovan. The second you would get the bigs going, all of a sudden Donovan or Darius would start jacking up shots.
It was a tale of two halves. So Darius and Donovan, they were 5 for 21 in that first half in total, and that's when the bigs actually got to do some work. But in the second half, that's when Donovan made it about himself. That's why up until a minute left in that game, the 13 previous possessions were all Donovan Mitchell possessions. And that can't happen if you're talking actual team basketball.